This story is kind of like Darren's. It's hard for a lot of people to hear. And believe me, if I had my choice, I wouldn't be up here telling it. But I do think it's important to, tell what happened to our family, but to use that for a greater purpose of education and helping other people stay safer on the water so that this doesn't happen to other families. On March 26th, it was the very last day of Nathan's spring break, and so they were going to take a fun little overnight camping trip and fishing. On the 27th, Brian had said it was really cold outside, but Nathan really wanted to go fishing. So he said, we won't stay out there very long, it's too cold, we'll probably be back by lunch. So, after a couple of hours, I was texting with him and wasn't getting any responses back, and I thought, well, they're out in the middle of the lake, maybe there's just no reception. However, I knew that most of the time, intermittently, he can find signals and would respond. Basically, what had happened was a storm had come up unexpectedly, which we were told later happens often at Stockton, and flipped their boat. And unfortunately, neither of them were wearing life jackets at the time. So immediately, my father-in-law, wanted to channel his grief and just do something. I wanted to introduce you to Craig Peace. This is my father-in-law, Brian's dad, and Nathan's granddad, and this is kind of how our organization began.
My name is Craig Keese. I am the father and grandfather of Brian, age 36, and Nathan, age 8. Normally, even in all the pictures that we have that Brian and Nathan took on their fishing trips, they always had on life jackets.
Always having your life jacket on while you're on the water just helps increase your chance of survival and getting back home safe to your family.
Nobody goes to the lake mentally expecting an accident or to drown.
He went to them and said, what is something that I can do right now? I have to do something. I can't just sit here and do nothing. So they said, well, life jacket loaner boards are always a great idea. People use them. So we got together with the Army Corps of Engineers and St. Springfield, really orchestrated. They both did a great job and orchestrated all of that. So this was our very first life jacket loaner board, which we didn't want to put their full story on there because people, we all know, people aren't going to really take the time to read that, but we thought it was important to give them memory. But we also thought it would be a good idea to very short little blurb down there about how to properly fit a life jacket, because that is very important too. A lot of people do not know how to fit their children properly. Altogether, we have about 40 life jacket loaner boards. A lot of them are on the East Coast in South Carolina region, because that's where my father-in-law lives. So he has worked closely with Duke Energy and Safe Kids Upstate. I thought this would be a good example to show anyone who's interested in doing life jacket loaner boards. You can really do them however you want, as far as you can make them as elaborate as you want with, the roofing, or you can just make it a stand that you even can put wheels on and move it around to different locations. That's pretty helpful too. So, I think the idea for the life jacket loaner boards is basically that people will see them and be reminded how important it is to have one on, and not just at the ramps. A couple on this page, but quite a few that we have are actually in swimming locations at lakes, because as you can see, even on that bottom left picture, this was a candid photo that they got that we were really excited they got. They had just put this board up like the day before, and they were out there taking some pictures, and one little girl ran up and grabbed one, and we thought, wow, people really do use these. So the swimming areas are great to have them too, in case people just don't feel confident enough themselves, or the parents don't feel confident, that their children can swim safely. Life jackets are like seat belts. I mean, I think that, just like seat belts protect people in a car, that is what life jackets do for people on a boat. And I think it's very important for that to just be second nature, just like when you get in a car, you automatically put on your seatbelt. So before you get in your boat, or as you get in your boat, you should put on a life jacket. They do save lives. Let's get into a little bit of statistics. We always think about being in first place or second place for most things is really good. However, being highly ranked is not always great, especially when it's related to drowning. Drowning is the #1 single leading cause of unintentional injury-related death for children ages 1 to 4. That is mostly in a pool situation. 2, drowning is the second leading cause for adolescents ages 15 through 19. And for those ages 1 to 44, it ranks as the third leading cause of unintentional injury deaths, and that's open and closed water combined. Again, these are mainly adults, and they are mainly older than 14, 15 years old. Another big one that we've talked about, someone else has spoken about, is alcohol use. According to the CDC, 1 in 5 boating accident deaths involves alcohol. So basically, our mission now is we just want to continue the education. We want to continue to do things like this where we get out and we talk to people about, the dangers of open water specifically. There's a lot of education for pool safety, especially for children, which is, of course, fabulous, and we advocate that as well. But I think that open water safety especially has been, I think it's starting to come to the forefront more, which is, in my realm anyway, in the water safety realm, which is great. I think that there's ways that we can maybe incorporate some. I would love to see open water safety incorporated into swim lessons. I mean, if you think about it, kids are at a swimming pool taking lessons at the YMCA or wherever they are. It would not take very long, maybe 5 minutes for, a few different lessons, to incorporate a little bit of open water safety. Tell the parents, the parents are there with them anyway, they're young kids. Teach them how to put a life jacket on. Show them how to fit it properly. Tell the parents how different lake water is than this pool that you're swimming in right now. You have to remember, lake is very different. It's always important to wear your life jacket. I think that is very doable and something that would be great. I would love to see that get started. Life jacket loaner boards, I think, again, great idea. People use them, put them at the swimming areas, not just the ramps. And then just overall continuing the education is what we want to do. I want to use my family's pain for a greater purpose. And I believe that we can do that. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you.